Hey there. Hey, welcome in. Okay. Basically, if you're watching the replay, welcome also. If you're new to my channel, right? If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to hit the subscribe button, and if you are watching this on Facebook, remember to hit follow and like the page, of course, and follow so that you'll be notified as and when I come live. For this week, right? This is what I plan to do for the next 4 days. I mean, as in like until Friday, three more days to come. I'll be going live every day to discuss about Facebook ads objectives. So this is one of the topic that I believe will excite a lot of people. So while I'm actually doing my sharing over here, feel free to post your questions in the comment. After this, I'll be actually answering your questions in the comment if there is any. And then basically, yeah, for those who are new to me, for those, this is the first time you meet me, my name is Jason from Tribe Academy. So what I've been doing for the past 10 years is I started my agency in 2010. Our focus is really to help more businesses grow, leveraging on this effective Facebook advertising and digital marketing. So on the agency part, we have helped over 200 plus clients, big and small brands alike, since 2010. And I started training in 2016. Over the years, we have trained over 4,000 individuals from all around the world. Now we have quite a influx of international participant students to our community. So basically, for the past 10 years, my focus has always been about helping people grow better with effective Facebook advertising. So when it comes to Facebook advertising, one of the biggest challenge a lot of people face is, now there are so many Facebook advertising objectives, right? Which one should I choose? Now, I would like to tell you a story. This is a very classic story. There was a time when I was actually having a training. So this student came to me and said that, Jason, can you actually help me take a look at my campaign? I'm not sure why, I run ads, you see, I get a very good number, we have good likes, comments, and all this kind of thing, but I'm not getting the thing that I want. So we went in, we take a look at the campaign. So basically, we actually look at it, the audience targeting, everything is quite perfect because this guy has been in business for a while, so he really know what kind of audience they are more interested in their product. You see, this is one thing that is quite interesting. A lot of people, I mean, when you have a kind of like some stumbling campaign, the first thing that a lot of people will actually turn to is actually to look at the audience targeting. But this is what I believe in. You see, you have been selling this product for a while, right? And you have been actually running on this product, or you have been in this industry for a while. Whether you're selling let's say, if you're selling a gaming chair or anything, right? Basically, all these things you have been doing for a while, you really know your audiences. But the funny part is, whenever a campaign hits into trouble, the first thing that people will turn to is to actually look at the audience targeting part. So, yeah. So we went in. And actually, the guy who talked to me also at the verge of changing his campaign. He said that, Jason, it's not working. I said, why is not working? I mean, I'm not getting conversion. My website is actually not working. But my ads gets a lot of likes, comments, and shares, you see. So we went in and said that basically the biggest challenge here, I mean, the mistake that they made was actually he has chosen the wrong objective. You see, he was actually looking for, what do we call? He was actually looking for click, right? But at the end of the day, he actually chose the engagement objective. So fundamentally, when you choose an objective, you're actually sending a signal to Facebook, telling them what kind of action that I'm actually looking for. So it's really important for you to send a very clear signal. So that was the first case, because if you're looking for click and you click and you choose engagement, you see, this is like that. Eventually, when you're running an advertisement, when you choose an objective, right, Facebook will zoom in to the people who are more likely to take the action. Let me actually bring up this diagram. Okay, let me bring this up. Okay, I have this diagram. Basically, this is how the whole thing works. Okay, so let's say, for example, if you're choosing a 1,000 audience, after you zoom in every single thing, right, like I want to look for people who are like 15 to 24-year-old, I mean, cannot be 15, let's say 25 to 34-year-old, and then I want to look for people who lives 1 kilometer radius from here, and then I want to look for people who are interested in etc., certain things, when you look at your detailed targeting. Even though you choose this 1,000, right, the audience will be actually broken into different categories. We call this the action groups. Like, for example, out of these 1,000 people, fundamentally, every one of us uses Facebook in an entirely different way. Like, for example, right? Oh, yeah. Hi, Danny. Basically, like, for example, Danny could be somebody who actually into clicking. He's very that kind of submarine person. He's very reserved. And then, of course, he's not reserved. He comments here anyway. So basically, let's say Danny is clicking kind of people. So Facebook will group them as the yellow color one. Danny falls into this yellow color box. He said, oh, this guy clicks a lot more. And then after that, there will be Jeremiah. I mean, Jeremiah is actually more into installing apps. He likes to install apps. He likes to, play games and all these kind of things. So Facebook will group them into this green color bubble here, the circle. Whereas there will be another group of people who are very much into liking, commenting, and sharing. So when you actually, when Facebook groups us into different groups like that, right? When you choose the objective, Facebook will show your ads more frequently to the people that might take the action that you're looking for. So that's the thing that I want to highlight to you here is that if you choose likes, comments, and chats, okay, Facebook will zoom your advertisement as in will focus on these people, which is the red color ones, because this is what you're looking for, right? So in turn, these are the people who like, comment, and shares a lot, but they don't really click a lot. So that's the challenge that this guy was really facing, because he was actually looking to get people to click to their website, but he chose the engagement. So this is one of the first flaw that we must avoid, as a Facebook advertiser. So that's the first thing. Entirely, fundamentally, Facebook advertising objective is really about, the actions most likely taken. Okay, so you have to remember when it comes to a campaign structure, right? At the campaign layer, you choose the objective. Basically, this is where we're going to start everything. I always like to highlight, if you start with the wrong objective, whether you get the right audience and everything right, the ad creation is right and everything is correct, the campaign might very likely to still flop, because fundamentally, it will actually go to the wrong group of people and it will bring you the wrong set of actions. So that's actually everything fall apart. Now, talking about the objective and the audience part, right? We have actually another a scenario, another story. I mean, I'm just nothing right or wrong. Yeah. Basically, if I bring up these examples, I just want to actually give you some idea about what are the possibilities that you might be doing, and how can we actually look at it in a different way. I'm not saying that I'm always right. Okay, you could actually share with me your scenario, and we can actually try to argue over it. The best learning is coming from all this debate. You see, now the other day I was having a discussion with one of my students. Okay, he actually, he actually set up with the wrong objective already. Basically, he was actually looking for people to click, but he actually chose the engagement objective. So you know what he did? He chose the engagement objective, and then in the audience targeting, right, he did a hell of a lot of exclusion. So this is something that a lot of people kind of like to do. So when you do a lot of exclusion, right, I mean, we all know how does it mean. When you do a lot of exclusion, what he was trying to do here is that, he actually learned from someone. He said that when you do all this exclusion, excluding certain people, like for example, certain thing. So when you do all this exclusion, you get what I mean, right? He was actually trying to avoid reaching to the foreign workers in Malaysia. So basically, I think he chose close to 80 exclusion mechanisms. So when you have a lot of exclusion mechanism, eventually, actually, you're shrinking your audience to a very kind of like unrealistically niche audience. So that will affect your ads delivery. It might actually increase your CPM. But the theory of exclusion used to work a long time ago, but it doesn't really work right now, because first of all, Facebook implemented this anti-discrimination policy whereby, in fact, Facebook removed a lot of all these exclusion mechanism, or so-called the detailed targeting selections that might be used by us, to do exclusion or certain discriminative behavior. So everything is being removed. So whatever is remained now may not work as it used to be. So eventually, although he has all this exclusion, his advertisements still reach a lot of, so-called the people, the wrong audiences that he doesn't want to reach. So basically, it actually proves the theory here. He started with the engagement objective, right? And then even though he does all this exclusion, blah, 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 every single thing, you will still go to this group of people, because fundamentally, it is about the action most likely taken. Because, I mean, you don't blame Facebook for bringing you so-called the wrong audience or ghost audience. It's all you, I always like to tell people, it's all you're doing. Why? Because when you go for people who are likely to like, comment, and share, let me give you a very simple scenario here, right? When you talk about like, comment, and share, engagement, especially if you click the so-called boost button, it goes for engagement. If you go for engagement objective, it goes for engagement. So let me ask you this very simple question. When was the last time you shared an advertisement? I mean, try to recall. When was the last time you shared an advertisement? Now, as an advertiser, we all know how an advertisement looks like. So when we're actually looking at an advertisement, it's very, very, very unlikely that we will go and share an advertisement unless it is really that, interesting. So we don't share, rarely, super rare, we will comment on an advertisement even. And it's really unlikely for us to even, like an advertisement even, because we know it's a net, whatever interaction that we are doing, we're actually giving them. So we are not in the group of people who are likely to like, comment, and share, but who are. So let me give you an example. Like, for example, maybe my mom, she's new to Facebook, you see. So she is new to Facebook. So she thought that all this like button and all, everything is the thing that she's supposed to do. So when she likes a lot and all that, Facebook will zoom into this. She might see your advertisement more because what you're looking for is like, comment, and share, you see. So that's a very simple mechanism. So put it this way, even though you choose all the so-called detailed targeting, as in that you do all this exclusion, right? If you start with the wrong objective, it still fall apart. Okay, fundamentally, so this is really the second scenario or second story that I want to tell you. But I really want to tell you the third story. This is really based on our recent experiment. Now, this is really for e-commerce case. And what we did was, you see, usually for e-commerce, right? This is what we actually do all the while. It's more like a common practice. When you don't have, when you are running an e-commerce store, I'm talking about your own website. If you're running an e-commerce store, you must install Facebook Pixel. Now, when you install Facebook Pixel, you must actually get your conversion events all set up correctly. So conversion events includes, view content. And after you view content, you are likely to click, let's say, for example, add to cart. And then after you add to cart, you're likely to initiate checkout. Then after you initiate checkout, you're likely to purchase, right? So this is what we learned. Facebook will say that when you're actually running conversion objective, you're supposed to optimize for a conversion that has at least 50 buyers in the last 7 days. Okay, recent study, when I was actually studying for my blueprint earlier this year, it says that now it becomes 25, which means within a week, let's say if you're looking for a purchase, if you choose conversion objective and you optimize for purchase, you must have at least 25 purchase in the last 7 days. So that was actually what's being told by Facebook Blueprint, and we have been practicing this. So usually if you don't have a very high volume of conversions and all that, we'll go up a layer. Let's say objective, right? If you don't have 50 purchase or 25 purchase, we go a layer up. Let's see whether we have 25 initial checkout. Or if you don't have it, then we go another layer up. Let's see, we have, let's say 25 initial, what was that? Add to cart. So when everything is not matured, right, we will usually go for traffic first. So the idea is when we go for traffic, we will try to drive people, optimize for either click or landing page, which is fine. We will get people to click and go over to the website first. And then after that, we try to nurture it enough, you see, when we have enough so-called conversion event, then only we actually switch it over to the conversion event. But recent experiment, I actually run for, certain client of mine. So what we did was the same visual, the same creative, and every single thing, the audience targeting is the same, but we actually test. So it's more like split testing, two objectives. One, go for traffic, which is we optimize for landing page view, okay, with the same setting, audience targeting, the same advertisement, okay, that's one part. The other one, we went for pure conversion. We straight away, we go for the purchase conversion. The client has about less than 10 purchase a week. So theoretically, it is not supposed to be a matured one. So we actually split like that, right? I'm not saying that this will happen to you. I'm just telling you my experiment. That's the whole idea of me doing live. You see, you want to learn from my experience, right? So, so when we do that, okay, we observe. Of course, the conversion is happening here and there, you see. But what we observe here is a very interesting one. The cost per click, for us, we won't be able to see. The cost per click for the traffic campaign versus the cost per click for the conversion campaign, okay? The cost per click for the conversion campaign seems to be about 30% lower than the traffic one. This is actually a very interesting finding, because the moment you go for, if it's not matured, it's not supposed to run this well. But what we actually, based on the hypothesis that I'm actually getting from this campaign is that, you see, the moment you send a clearer picture about things that you want, okay, Facebook will zoom in. I believe somehow or rather the algorithm has actually improved, the AI has improved at the back end. So if you're running e-commerce, I actually encourage you to try an experiment with, several things like, traffic you can actually do these two tests to see which one works better. While we are actually trying to drive traffic to our store and train our pixel, you see. So this is something that you can consider doing. So okay, basically this is a few stories that I want to share with you to tell you the impact of choosing the right objective. But for those who are not familiar, of course, there could be somebody who are actually still kind of new to Facebook, right? So if you're not familiar with Facebook advertising, now this is Facebook Ads Manager. So basically, if you want to start advertising on Facebook, you need to come over here. Okay, once you're here, you click on this create button, then it will actually bring you to the objective creation. Okay, yeah, so basically you have brand awareness, consideration, and conversion. So yeah, tomorrow I would actually go through one by one. Tomorrow, let's talk about awareness. I want to share with you some interesting case study about awareness, objective, and day after we will talk about consideration, and day after we will talk about conversion. So that sets up, right? So every day, put your alarm, set your reminder, 3:30, come over to this place. So it's just gonna be a half an hour kind of sharing. So I want to actually help you understand certain things. So if you have any questions regarding Facebook ads objective, you can actually click, just comment in the comment section. And then I'll try to answer after I share all these things. So this is where you start choosing your Facebook ads objective. So basically, we have awareness, consideration, and all that. So basically, like for example, especially consideration objectives and conversion objective, these are what we call the action-based objective. So when you're choosing action-based objectives, you gotta be really sure about what you want to achieve. That's why how to choose the right Facebook ads objective, back to the topic that we're supposed to discuss. I want you to start having this kind of mindset of thinking from an angle of looking at your whole journey as an, as a, what do we call, as a action funnel. Now you have to remember, a person interact with your ad on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, after they see your ad 2 to 3 times in 7 days, then only they will consider whether I want to click or not. If it interests me, then I click. So once I click, I'll go over to the destination that you wanted me to go to. Let's say whether it's a landing page, whether open up Messenger, whether open up lead form. So that's the next destination. And ultimately, I will either purchase, or I will either submit lead, or I will either do whatever things that you want me to do. So I want you to start having that the mindset of, you want to look at it at a bird eye view. You want to tell yourself, you want to ask yourself, what is the ultimate goal that I want to do? So let's say, for example, if you are running a business that, it's very actually kind of like, it's very clear. It's just that a lot of people kind of get confused by Facebook advertising because it's new to you, you want to take a step back and try to, basically, if it's an e-commerce website, if it's a website or whatsoever, it's an e-commerce website, it's either landing page view or conversion, or you can actually choose the catalog sales, which is another topic that we will cover in the future. Now, if you're businesses that is trying to get people to submit lead, like for example, the other day I was just having a discussion with my client. He sells used car. So he actually tried different things. So he was actually focusing on what are the things or what are the objectives that will bring him a lot of so-called replies, a lot of so-called, PM and all that. So he actually tried engagement. He said, it works, but, a lot of PM, but when we reply PM, right, it doesn't really, very little of them actually responded. That's why I said this is exactly one of the very classic scenario. What do you want? If you're a car dealer, at the end of the day, people won't buy car online. I said, like, I won't be able to just commit to it. I need to come over. But how do you get people to come over? Having a messenger conversation with them doesn't cut that. You see, whether they talk to you on messenger or they PM you, right? You can't go over to the house and drag them over to your place, to your garage, and look at your cars, right? So what you really need, you need a phone number. So for this client that I have, so basically we will actually have to zoom into lead generation for this case. They need the phone number. So when you are very clear about the things that you want to achieve, which is I want phone number. So we will have several objectives that can actually cut you to get you the phone number. So we will test to see which one works better. So that's why I want you to start having this mindset. This is your homework. If you want to join me tomorrow to discuss each and every one of the objectives available, I want you to be very clear. You want to ask yourself for your business. You can comment below later on. I want to know about this as well. Okay, what do your business need for you to take it to the next level? If it's e-commerce, conversion or landing page view. If it's B2B, then lead generation. If you're doing certain business that requires a longer process, then it's lead generation. But you have to be very clear yourself. Then only we are able to choose the right objective for you. I hope this quick live session gives you a better idea. And this would be, and then tomorrow, remember, we will go through the awareness objective, and the day after, we will go through consideration. I'll try to give you an idea about how each and every one of these work, you see. But of course, we won't go in depth to discuss. Like, if you want to understand more in depth, we have different programs that we talks about this. But let me take a look about your comment first. There's no question, fine. So if you are, basically, this is how I want to actually give you an idea about how Facebook advertising, how to choose the Facebook ads objective. But fundamentally, this is all I always want to emphasize. You see, when it comes to Facebook advertising, like one of my friends from Singapore, he actually puts it in a very nice way. He said that it is really what you don't know that is stopping you from advancing. You see, a lot of stuff we don't know. I mean, we don't know that we don't know about this until we find out about it. So it's about the mistakes. I put it this way. It's the mistakes that you don't even know yourself doing that is really stopping you from getting very good result in Facebook advertising. So, in light of this, right, and recently I put up a very, interesting so-called free training. It's a free training. It's a 20 over hour training. Let me give you the link over here, right? Basically, it's a 20 over hour. What am I doing? It's a 20 over minute training that talks about 3 key mistakes that Facebook advertisers make. Basically, these 3 key mistakes are those mistakes that is really stopping you from getting good result. So I give you a very detailed explanation about these key mistakes. this being one of them, and then how can you avoid these mistakes, and what are the things that you can do. So basically, in this free video, I outline whatever things that you must know as a Facebook advertiser, so that you're able to take your Facebook advertising to the next level. So basically, click the link. I've already put it out there. Okay, and then of course, at the end of the link, I'm actually offering you a chance to work with me for 6 days to set up a Facebook ads campaign. It's like what we call the 6-day challenge, 6DC. So click on the link to find out more about the whole thing. And if you're interested, 6DC now is really at we put it damn affordable. The whole idea is I want you to join me in the journey to really transform, because this is really unprecedented time. And I really believe that whatever we can do together accumulatively is really powerful. But most importantly, frankly speaking, it is about getting a community to work together to look at how we can actually advance together. Because to be frank, Facebook advertising is a very lonely journey. For the past 10 years, more than 10 years now, where I learned myself, right? All these are actually kind of like, I have to go and find all this yourself. Like, I have a lot of students, and when it came to us, I said that, frankly speaking, I may not have the solution that you're looking for, but when we accumulatively form a community and we find these solutions together, it's going to be a very powerful force to move us forward. Okay, so click on the link to go and join this so-called free training that I put out for you. And then if you are keen, go over and join this 6-day challenge with me, so that we can work together to really do different Facebook advertising, to bring it to the next level. Now we have a question from Shi Shengwei, Manfred. Anyway, so to get more mobile number, should we stick with lead gen or message? This is a very good question. Now there are 4 choices when it comes to lead generation. You want mobile number, you can either, of course, you have lead generation and your message, right? The other one is that the one that I find really working for most of my clients right now is to do a landing page. As in, you create a landing page to do the phone number collection. This is because, you see, because of all this pandemic, a lot of people are actually getting a little more and more digital right now. So when we are more and more digital, we are more literate. As in, like, we know more about all these kind of website thingy, how all these things work, right? So it also makes us a little bit more reserved in terms of giving you a phone number. So if you're able to put up a proper landing page to give them proper explanation about things that you're actually looking for them, or you're actually offering them, we get better ROI, or we get better conversion from landing page view compared to last time already. Now the 4th method that you can try to do is you can actually do the message. As in, like, the WhatsApp conversation. So what we do is, of course, you can use the business WhatsApp using the messenger objective, but the other type you can do is you can actually use traffic to drive people to start a WhatsApp conversation with you. So that is another method that you can consider. So fundamentally, I would say that there are 4 methods that you can actually effectively create lead for your business. This is something that we have been doing for our client for the past 10 years. Like I said, for the past 10 years, I think we accumulatively, we have generated close to 500,000, more than that, more than 500,000 leads for our clients all combined. It's a fantastic journey. Okay, now, I think this is it. Thanks for the question, Manfred. And remember to click the link and join. And for those who are new, remember to click subscribe and follow button so that you'll be notified as and when I go live. Every time I go live, I'll be going live on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, my team will share it into all the groups that you're in right now. So if you find this useful, please share it with your friends, because to be frank, like I said, Facebook advertising is an evergreen kind of thing. We have to constantly upgrade ourselves to learn things together, and nothing beats the possibility of having a community that we can advance together. And that's my aim. I hope to actually provide and create an environment where we can actually advance together. Okay, so I think this is it for today's live. 28 minutes, I think just nice. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching up to now. Remember to hit the subscribe button and follow. And I'll see you in the next live, which is tomorrow. And remember, click the link to join this free training. Take a look at this, whatever I put out for you, and share with your friends. Remember, this is really about helping more and more people, because everybody is struggling right now, right? To most people, I mean, not everybody. And if you're able to help them, give them a thinker, help them understand what are the mistakes that they are doing, you're actually doing them a very, very, very big favor. So with that said, this is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.